man. Oh, what's up, yo? Hey, hey, I got more pixels now, man. I got more pixels. I got a webcam, which means I got a phone app, an app on my phone, acting as a webcam. What you know about it? Here we go. We're gonna get into rookie running back rankings, no, not rankings, just breakdowns. I'm gonna give you everything you need to know about every single one of them. Rookie running back. Um, the, being everyone, I don't know if it's gonna be like one or two parts. I guess we'll find out if this video like cuts halfway through. But in the first top in the top 100 players, I go more in depth, and then I talk about with less detail, but I mean still enough for everybody from 100 to Ray McClias, I think is the last guy. So I mean, come on, let's get into it here. Let's get into it. So at pick 32, the Chiefs, we have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I mean this is the 101, the motherfucking 101. Okay, I mean he's in a two-man tier with Jonathan Taylor, but he's the 101. You know, he had 14 broken tackles on 55 catches, so elusive and very, very, very good receiving. Him and DeAndre Swift are like 1-2 in terms of receiving backs in this draft. His 10-yard split and vertical jump were both in the 93rd percentile, and that explains why he has the most nasty, like, motherfucker just teleports on these jump cuts. Like, I mean, come on, they're incredible. And I mean that's about it. So he's tied to the Chiefs offense for 5 years, and is it like, I mean, come on, serious question here. Is there an offense that you'd rather be tied to for 5 years in NFL history than a young Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, a Chiefs offense? I mean, that's debatable. This might be the most favorable offense for fantasy in NFL history. So, I mean that's great. For CEH, I think it's always funny because there's like a giant circle jerk for like film guys and like a giant circle jerk for like analytic guys, and the film guys are like fucking drooling over him. They're like, oh my god, this guy is the next great. He's Brian Westbrook. He's great. He can do this, and then all like the analytic guys are like, motherfucker's 5'8" and runs a goddamn 4.6, and his stats were elevated because he was at LSU, and both of them are like half points. I'm kind of like in the middle. Like I think it's funny. But if there is a knock to him, it's that we don't know how good he is, like, at all. He had one very productive season, and he couldn't win the job until midway through the year. So there's a chance that he like straight up like is not good at football. But running backs don't matter, so we're not gonna know if he's good at football because he's going from one offense that's historic in its own right to the Chiefs, which is just, I mean, the same thing. So he could end up being like a very average replacement level back, but we probably won't know because he's going to be on a team that's going to use him to his full skill set and is going to try to use him as best they can. Also, he's 5'8", and he runs a 4.6, so that's very concerning. There's not many favorable comps out there, but if there's going to be an outlier, it's going to be the guy tied to the Chiefs offense. So 101, I mean, purely because of upside. Like he has Kareem Hunt rookie year written all over him. I mean, it's very possible he could catch 70 passes. I mean, come on. So a total stud there, lock him in 101. At 35, the Lions go DeAndre Swift. Now, DeAndre Swift is the other pass catching back, and this makes me very happy because the best two pass catching backs, 1-2 in the draft over Jonathan Taylor. So, I mean, come on, NFL making gains out here. DeAndre Swift, he caught 74 of 75 catch-up targets in his career, and with Nick Chubb and Sonny Michel as a freshman, he put up 81 rushes for 617 yards and 17 catches. So, and he averaged 7.6 yards a pop. So, very, very skilled at a very young age, and I mean, there's really not much else to say. He's a very good, or no, I mean he's a very adequate runner, perhaps above average, and an excellent pass catcher. His floor is a satellite back on this team, but I mean his ceiling is like total like a $3 starter. And the other thing is I like him more than most because Kerryon Johnson is the third most likely back to get injured according to Sports Injury Predictor. And last year he was like not good in any metric. Like just I have an article coming up. Like he was just not good last year at all by any stretch of the word. So I think Swift at very worst is going to be a third down satellite back that is going to be viable in some PPR formats, and at very best could be the lead back on an above average offense. So I like him here. I mean I just think that he's better than Kerryon. He excels where Kerryon doesn't, which is catching passes, and he's not going to get hurt like Kerryon. So that's good. Jonathan Taylor, back to back, 2,000 yard seasons in college, 4.39 40 at 226 pounds, 99% TB score. Like this, I mean, there's not many better runners like day one in the NFL than him. The thing with him is he has 17 fumbles in his career, 17, and he dropped 8 of 50 catchable targets last year, which is an atrocious rate. I mean, come on, 16%. That's unacceptable. Those are two of the things that will get you benched. That will get you benched the fastest in the NFL is drops and fumbles. So we know that he has all the skill in the world as a runner, and he's going to come in and be the best runner on the coach roster, and one of the best in the NFL, behind one of the best lines, behind Quentin Nelson. I mean, like it's a match made in heaven, but there is downside that he fumbles or drops balls and is supplanted by Marlon Mack and Nyheim Hines as a platoon. So Jonathan Taylor, man, he has almost as much upside as Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but I mean the offense is just not as good. But he has like legitimate like top 10 upside. That's very obtainable, and right now he's very undervalued in drafts. He's the clear RB2 in Dynasty and in redraft for rookies. I mean, not much else to say. He's in a tier with a Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he should be a stud, a very safe stud. The only thing is he could have some fumbling issues or drops that could land him some bench time, especially as a rookie. So, stud there at 41 to the Colts. Stud there. 52. Cam Akers. Now Akers, he had a 39, almost 40%. 39.8% dominator rating. Like this dude accounted for 40% of his team's offense in college, which is just it's not fair. He was the offense at Florida State, and the line was just so horrible that he couldn't do anything with it. So you look at his stats and you be like, this motherfucker is inefficient as fuck, and I don't want him. But the thing is, he was the offense, and actually being behind a bad line is more reminiscent of what you're going to see in the NFL because, unlike Jonathan Taylor, who just had like fucking NFL linemen everywhere, he was surrounded by a bunch of scrubs. So he knows how to navigate a bad line play and stuff. The only question is, did he develop bad habits behind that line that could be better in the NFL? I mean, perhaps behind the Rams, it wouldn't be better at all, but 40% dominator, very natural hands. He makes some very impressive catches. Some against there was a play versus Clemson where he was lined up way on the boundary versus a fucking corner, like on NFL corner, and he just touched him. You know, like low curl, cut the ball, easy money. Very great pass blocker, like probably the best pass blocker in this class. His short area quickness is very good. He behind the bad line, he made a habit of getting met at the hole and making the guy miss, like in the hole in a very small space. So that was impressive. However, despite his natural hands and his very impressive highlight reel for catches, he had a 12% drop rate, which is not good at all. Also, he doesn't do many things elite. So I mean, he's a very well-rounded back, but he doesn't have many skills that he can hang his hat on, like CEH's quickness or his jump cuts or whatever. So there is a worry that he could be just average and be in a timeshare. But in their own backfield, I'm a little bit higher on him than most. in terms of like a redraft because this backfield, I mean it's going to be an offense that is like above average, but this backfield has Darrell Henderson, Malcolm Brown, and him, and I think he's the best back out of those three. So if he proves to be like good enough to like if he's the best person in the backfield, he might command a 3-down role, which is very good for an offense like that. But like I said, he doesn't do many things elite, so he might be relegated to a committee, and you don't want that in the 4th round. So that's game makers. J.K. Dobbins at 55 to the Ravens. This dude was just fucking boring. Like there was nothing intriguing about his tape. He did many things very well and nothing like great. He has nice like dead leg, open field cuts, pretty good. Very NFL ready. He comes from his own scheme and he's a one-cut runner. I mean like he's meant for the NFL, but I mean there's nothing that I can get too excited about except the landing spot. He goes to the Ravens where, although this year he has to compete with Mark Ingram, soon enough he will be the. I mean, unless they sound like a 32-year-old Ingram, he will be the lead dog in this bag that is one of the best for fantasy. I mean he could be the running back 1 like overall in like a couple years because if he has this backfield to himself, with Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's gonna be a top 5 back. Like it's just like really hard protecting him because this backfield has been so plug and play. I mean, Gus Edwards is very efficient in the backfield. Mark Ingram, I mean, came in at age 30 and just went off. So, I mean, he could never be the lead back because, I mean, like anybody can play good in this backfield. But if he ever is the lead back, he has tons of upside, and that could happen next year. He's a decent pass catcher, and I mean just a very good runner, very solid runner. The other thing is he's not very elusive. He has 7 broken tackles on 71 career catches, so he isn't doing much after. Like he isn't elevating his situation much, but he's gonna get what the line gave you, and then a little bit more, and not make very many mistakes. So take him as a long-term play for the upside. This year I'm not as crazy. I mean, he could prove to be a league winner down the stretch, but I think this is Ingram's backfield this year, so I'm not gonna have very much of J.K. Dobbins. AJ Dillon. You heard me rant about the Packers draft for 15 minutes, and write 2,000 words about it, so I don't want to talk very much about this. But Dillon, here's his calling card. He's big and fast, and not good at football. His feet are some of the worst like you'll ever see. Like there's nothing special about his vision, feet. He caught 21 balls in 3 years. I mean, come on. He's an avoid for me. In Dynasty, you can take a flyer on him because he can be. Both Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones are free agents after this year, and while they're both better backs, if you want to get more context on this, watch my package video. But basically, there's a path where he is the lead back on this offense next year. But I mean, I don't see it happening. And this year, I mean, come on, not gonna happen. I'll be fading Dillon whenever I can. Man, and Antonio Gibson. So I list, which is, I mean, this is probably like the wrong order, but I list Gibson as a running back here and Linbo as a receiver. So Antonio Gibson, he broke 16 tackles on 33 rushing attempts last year, and broke 17 tackles on 38 catches. Like he has like a 45% 45% broken tackle rate. Like it's fucking incredible, and he's more nuanced of a receiver. I mean, given that he played a receiver, he's more nuanced in his routes than most running backs as a receiver, and he's more elusive than most running backs. He runs a 4.39 at 228. His speed score is better than Jonathan Taylor, which is like the fucking pinnacle. And versus SMU, he had 3 catches for 97 yards. No, 3 carries for 97 yards and a touchdown on the ground, and 6 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown through the air. Like just fucking anomalous. Like it's so strange. I mean, he flashed everything that you want to see in terms of a running back, big, fast, elusive, can catch the ball. But here's the thing: he touched the ball 73 times in his college career. Catches plus receptions 73 times. Like, this guy has no tape to work off of. So we just have some like incredible numbers that are outliers because they're so small of a sample size. But I mean, this is like so intriguing. Washington definitely reached on him here, and if he's only a running back, I have no interest because I mean they have, man, Bryce Love coming back from an ACL, Darius Guice, AP, and him. I mean, there's 4 backs in a bad offense. Like, come on now. But redraft, I have no interest. But in Dynasty, he is the most talented. Well, him and Guice are the most talented backs on his roster, and he can play slot too. I mean, he's a nice big slot receiver in addition to a very good runner. I mean, he just has so much intrigue. A redraft, I mean, like, don't touch him. He's very likely to not play a game this year, with significant carries or receptions. But I mean, in Dynasty, it's hard to not take a shot on a guy with a profile like this, especially with a third round draft capital. So, I mean, Gibson is very interesting. And Keyshawn Vaughn. 10 picks later, Keyshawn Vaughn. A very big riser due to draft spot. I did. This is a guy where I did a breakdown with a guru. I think when would it be like 5 days ago. So you can watch that if you want. But his dominator is higher than the Can Makers, 40.4%, which is, I mean, fucking incredible. He runs a 4.51 at 214. So big and fast. Not AJ Dillon big and fast, but I mean bigger and faster than most backs. I believe it's 74th percentile speed score, which is I mean very solid. 10% target share, 28 catches. Very well run the back, and I mean he's not elusive. He's kind of like a poor man's J.K. Dobbins with a little bit better hands. He doesn't exceed anywhere, but I made the argument in the Guru video that he is a very good back for Tom Brady because he's not going to fumble, he's not going to drop raining balls, and he's going to give you what the line blocks for you, and then some, and he's not going to drop balls and is able to make plays out of the backfield. So I think he is the guy to own in this backfield over Ron Jones. I really like him. I took him at the 112, kind of regretfully, but I took him at the 112 in Dynasty, and I mean, I can't say more about him. I would take a shot on him in redraft over Ron Jones because I think he does have the highest chance to be the lead back on this great offense. He's exactly what Tom Brady wants, and I mean, big and fast, good hands. What more can I say about him? Keyshawn Vaughn, pretty soft pickup whenever you can get him. Okay, Zach Moss. He is the most elusive back. I mean, besides Antonio Gibson, but he's not a back. The most elusive back in this class. He has a 90th percentile 10-yard split, which is very solid. He has the 5th most explosive runs since 2017, and he's the most elusive back in the class. He's dropped 1 ball on 33 targets last year, which was a concern prior to this year, but he proved to have very good hands. He averaged 14.5 yards after catch per reception last year, which is, oh my god, which is very solid. I mean, this is another one of those guys that's like, I mean, Phil Brown just jizzing over him, just saying that he's the next big thing, and then you have the analytical guys saying that he is not shit. So, he runs a 4.61 or a 4.65, which is not good at all, and he's behind Devin Singletary right now. He's probably going to fill in that Frank Gore role. So, while I like the prospect from a terms of traits and production, running a 4.65 being in a bad offense behind another talented back is just not good. Maybe take a 3rd or 4th round shot in Dynasty. I mean, he is a talented running back, but his profile doesn't have very many favorable comps. So he's nothing more than a dart throw in Dynasty. And I mean, redraft, you can plug him in as a desperate flex in a 16-team 3RB league if you want. So yeah, Darrington Evans. He is kind of like the anti-Zach Moss. So he goes to Tennessee, where he's behind Derrick Henry, and he's probably going to fill in for the Deion Lewis role, which is kind of intriguing for Dynasty. He runs a 4.41, which is 96th percentile. Very solid speed. He's a big play threat from anywhere. Short area quickness, capable hands. He basically is Deion Lewis with more speed and less between the tackles work. Less between the tackles vision is what I meant to say. At 203, we don't know if he can handle a workload if Henry goes down. But if Henry ever went down, Deion Lewis would take the full workload. So maybe we can expect the same from Darrington Evans. He's an intriguing best spot play because if Henry goes down, he is presumably going to be the lead back there. And if not, he's going to be catching a couple balls a game. So Evans is a decent dynasty stash because if Henry goes down, obviously, or if Henry leaves, he could be the back of the future there. I mean, he's the next guy in line as of right now. And in redraft, decent best spot pick, but maybe in the 20th or 18th round, you take a shot on him as just purely injury upside. I mean, you're not going to use him unless he goes down. He's one of the more underrated handcuffs in the NFL. So Evans very solid there. Down to Joshua Kelly. Kelly goes to at 112. He goes to the Chargers, which is very intriguing because Melvin Gordon left, and now it's the Austin Eckler show, and whoever else. He's the only back over 205 pounds on the roster, so it's a long shot, but he could be the Melvin Gordon in this offense, getting 60% of the carries, a couple targets. He has capable hands, so that's good. He has a 78th percentile speed score, 80th percentile 40. My God, I can't speak today. And I prefer him to Justin Jackson in terms of just being the likely Melvin Gordon replacement. Great short area quickness, can make people miss in the hole. He gets skinny in the hole, complete back, and like I said, there is a world where he is the Melvin Gordon of this backfield. I mean, there's one, but it's not gonna happen. But in Dynasty, he is a target of mine, 100%. Go get him in the third round, maybe a late second, because after Eckler leaves, he is the next guy up, and even this year, he could carve out a very significant role of carries. And in redraft, he is another one of those very underrated handcuffs, like Darrington Evans, where unlike Evans, he can give you production potentially as a flex or a desperate flex, getting 50-60% of the carries on a decent offense. And if Eckler goes down, he is the next guy up. I think he's a better pass catcher than Justin Jackson and a better overall back than him. So, if Eckler goes down, watch out here. Watch out. So, Kelly, big target in Dynasty, redraft kind of. So, there we go. LaMichael Pirine at 120 to the Jets. This guy is so if Keyshawn Vaughn is the poor man's J.K. Dobbins, Pirine is the poor man's Keyshawn Vaughn. Usually I can say that backs do everything well, but this guy does everything average to below average. He has below average speed at 216. He has no elusiveness at all. Decent hands, decent vision. This is the definition of a replacement running back. Running backs don't matter, so he could come in if Lev Bell goes down and produce Bilal Powell, which is not inspiring. I suppose that he's worth a shot strictly on the basis that Lev Bell is on borrowed time right now. So I guess he's worth a shot because he is theoretically the next guy up. But there's nothing exciting about him at all. So worth a shot in both a dynasty and redraft. But when you pick him, you're gonna be he's very expendable. So yeah, man, Anthony McFarland, dude has juice. 4.41, 91st percentile speech, 40-yard dash, and he is the only running back in Pittsburgh's backfield that has any kind of juice. James Conner runs a 4.65. Benny Snell, Jalen Samuels, they're slow. So he's gonna be different than him. He may not be the best, most complete back like Conner is, but he's just different than those backs. So if Connor goes down for a little bit, or McFarland comes in for a couple carries and busts off a long run, I mean, like, we know the speed kills, and there's nothing that NFL coaches desire more than speed. So he could come in and just be that guy, and just wow over the coaching staff, and maybe he takes over a starting role. Who knows? He has that upside at any time that he gets the ball, because, I mean, watch his Ohio State film from last year, and you'll see just breaking up big runs against great teams. And, I mean, come on, he's awesome. He doesn't do very much else besides, I mean, like, competent hands, competent vision. He relies a little bit too much on power for being 5'8". I mean, you'll see him try to, I mean, it's good that he's not, like, afraid of contact, but he's seeking it out a lot, and it's not very inspiring there. But, I mean, he has juice, and the Steelers backs don't. So, take a shot on him in Dynasty, because he could be the lead back this year if something happens. And when Connor leaves, he's probably the most likely guy to take that job. So, a redraft, a great flyer, a great handcuff, and Dynasty, come on, take him. DJ Dallas. Okay. If Keyshawn Vaughn is the poor man's J.K. Dobbins, and Michael Piron is the poor man's Keyshawn Vaughn, then DJ Dallas is the poor man's Michael Piron. Like, he is below average in most things. If there is anything redeeming, is he used to play receiver, so he has some natural hands. But he's raw. Like, as a running back, he's just raw. Like, he hasn't played a running back long enough to really grasp the position. Because, I mean, he was receiver earlier in college. And if there is anything to say, he is, he showed his receiving skills by having one drop on 29 catchable, which is very solid. Just about a 3% drop rate. But he's just buried behind Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, Carlos Hyde. He wants him to the field. He could carve out a pass catching role, which, I mean, I guess would be cool, but he's not worth really anything. Maybe like a 25th round rookie pick or whatever, but I mean, not much else outside of that. Jason Huntley. He was my favorite back that I didn't know very much about, because this dude is 5'9", 181 or 188, and he has a 4.41 or a 4.45 40, 91st percentile. His burst score is 94th percentile, so like 91 percentile plus athlete, basically across the board. He had a 33% dominator in college, and 7 yards to carry. So, like, I mean, awesome there, and a 13% target share, which, I mean, like there's nothing that this guy didn't do well at I think New Mexico State, just like very small college. He has juice. He's awesome. He's buried behind not only Swift but Kerryon Johnson too. So he's probably not sniffing the field, but and I wouldn't advise drafting him in either redraft or dynasty. But if you want to take a shot on him, I mean, like, go for it. No, don't go for it. If you want, I'll take a shot on him. Whenever Kerryon goes down, or just keep an eye on this guy, because he has all the athleticism in the world, and I mean, very impressive profile. So if Kerryon goes down, I'll be snatching him up. Just, Jason Huntley, Lions running back. Pay attention, okay? Okay. Benjamin, second to last guy here. You've probably seen him, or you've seen him in the Guru video with Keyshawn Vaughn. Basically, Benjamin, it boils down to he's on a very, very aggressive runner with limited athletic ability, but a 14% target share in college, and an 87% dominator. No, 37% dominator, and very impressive profile. Just not a great athlete. He's a good pass catcher, but he's kind of a plotter, and I mean, he's gonna get what's in line box for you, basically. The good news is that running backs don't matter, and he's on a great offense with 2 injury-ridden backs. So if Chase Edmonds and or Dre go down, he's gonna step in and give you all the protection that they would for like nothing. So I'm taking shots on him in rookie drafts later, and he's a very good flyer as a handcuff. I mean, you can cut him like at any time, but if Edmonds and or Dre go down, he's gonna come in and produce how they would, which is very elite stats. So Benjamin, a great profile, a great situation, very limited athletically, basically. Okay, last guy, Raymond Calias. at pick 245 to the Tampa Bay Bucks. So the Bucks have Keyshawn Vaughn, Ronald Jones, Dare Ogunbowale, absolute stud, and Raymond Calais. So the best case scenario for him is that he picks out a very limited third down role with like being like James White kind of, but I mean that's what I heard from a lot of guys was that he is going to be like James White, or that could be his potential role. However, his college target share was 7%. I mean, come on. So I'm very skeptical that he'll do anything. I don't even know if I'd advise a stash in Dynasty. I mean, maybe like if you have like maybe he can be the last guy on your taxi squad that maybe he shows more pass catching chops than he did in college. I mean, he was very efficient as a runner with an 8.4 yards per carry in college, but I mean that target share, which is abysmal. And if they're going to say that he's going to be a pass catching back with that target share in college, I'm skeptical. He's probably going to void. So, I mean, if you want to take a shot on him as your last guy on the taxi squad, I mean, go for it. But redraft, stay away. There's not much upside there. That's going to be it. That's probably going to be one video. It might be two. I might cut it off like after the top 100 or whatever. Takeaways here. Michael P. Ryan. No, okay, no. Takeaways. J.K. Dobbins does it. No. Takeaways. J.K. Dobbins does everything well. Cam Akers is a poor man's J.K. Dobbins. Keyshawn Vaughn is a poor man's Cam Akers. Michael P. Ryan is a poor man's Keyshawn Vaughn. And DJ Dallas is a poor man's Michael P. Ryan. There you go. Probably a one-part video. I'm gonna be doing this for like every position group. With I'm gonna be coming with the stats and the stuttering. I mean, you know how it is. That's how it'll be. That's how it'll be here on That Fantasy. So stay tuned for probably a video tomorrow. I'm halfway through my wide receiver notes, dude. Okay. I'll tell like the full story when I get to him. But dude, Limbo was so fun to like watch. Like I'm getting more like into just like watching film for fun because like we have like blue balls for football. So I like find excuses to like watch film on prospects. So I'm watching film on Lynn Bowden, and this is when he was a quarterback, right? And dude, this if you haven't seen the 2019, I don't fucking know. Just watch the bowl game for Kentucky versus Virginia Tech. So entertaining. Like, dude, Limbo, like he follows like the entire like fucking like character arc like in a movie. Like it's fucking awesome. Anyways, I mean, come on. That's gonna be it. Watch out for wide receivers tomorrow, hopefully, and have a good day. Cause I had a good day, so yeah.